Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this evening's entertainment banter. My name is Joel.
And I am Matt.
Wow, you seem so giddy, Matt.
I am so giddy. It's amazing. I feel like we've done a pod already.
I don't know your life. I don't know what you do.
I don't
You probably
know
pod on your
your
own.
life.
You probably pod on your own
I
by
actually
yourself
podded
because
the past 30
since I have
minutes
my own
and
since I have my own podcast called
you
Entertainment
do have
Banter.
your own podcast.
You
Yes.
probably have your own podcast. I don't know what you call it. Probably banter.
I call it
banter on the entertainment.
Banter entertainment.
Yeah,
what
it's
I
pretty
call
good.
mine.
Am I a guest on that one?
You
No,
are
because you
sometimes.
talk solo.
Not all the time.
Oh, is Nick
All
your,
right.
is Nick your partner?
No.
He's your
Joel.
co-pilot.
There's only one man for me in my life.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god. All
Matt,
right, what do
Matt,
we,
what do you want to talk about today, Matt? I'm gonna give Matt the choice to say the
Oh,
the subject
don't do that
matter.
to me. Don't do that to me. Can we get through it? What do you think? Can we get through it?
Hollywood wants to not upset anyone anymore. Is that right?
Sure. Sure. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll say yes.
They don't want
wanna-
to upset anyone. So what was DC's real quick? What was DC's reaction to not upsetting anyone? What did they announce?
Well, it's not I don't know if it's an official announcement, but
Let's go with that. It's an unofficial entertainment announcement.
sure. Well, the DC universe obviously has been trying to play catch up with Marvel and Star Wars, although Star Wars is not really an issue anymore.
I feel like
Marvel.
I feel like Star Wars is the fat
But Disney
guy,
as a whole, right?
and then Marvel was you what's his name, Bolt, who's running really fast, and then DC's tripped.
Well, DC, they started out strong, and it's kind of funny because
Where do they start out strong? Please.
Well, I was gonna
Please.
say in the television market,
Fair.
because they did their it started out as a
CW
CW thing.
We talking CW like Smallville and
Right,
Okay.
yeah. Well, I would ignore Smallville, but I would say like the Arrowverse is what they
and
called it. The Arrowverse.
Flash. Is Flash one
Yeah.
or no? Is it called Flash?
Yep. Flash. There's
Okay.
Arrow. There's Flash. There's
So we're talking
the
more.
Legends of Tomorrow. There's Black Lightning. There's so many others. They
we're
did
talking
Teen Titans,
modern.
Batgirl, or Batwoman, I should say.
We're not-
Supergirl.
Okay. So they started
So
strong
all of
there.
these-
Okay.
So what's interesting about it is I fell behind in the Arrowverse because we have lives and we're working and trying to do other things. But I would defend the Arrowverse for quite some time, and then I didn't realize how woke it got. And so I started watching some of the episodes, and for some shows, I thought it was okay and valid. Like, for example, with Supergirl. I may have mentioned this to you in the past, but like it's obviously Supergirl. Shocker. It's a woman. Woman's in charge. She's
Matt,
the lead.
let's
But,
before you, what?
Well, I was gonna
Huh?
say
Huh?
instead of Lex Luthor,
What?
you got Lex Luthor's mom is the villain, so it's like a woman villain as opposed to Lex Luthor. So like
Okay.
it makes sense because it's a show about a woman superhero, woman villains, woman. You know what I mean? It
Sure.
leads around them, so that is fine for me. And so like it became a woke culture later on
But
when
what-
they started to really start pushing things.
When
other
you
things.
say when you say woke culture, what do you mean? For our one viewer out there that's probably in his 60s. Yeah, we're talking about you, bald guy.
Well, I mean, basically, it's all about just embracing diversity. But I think also with like women's rights and everything else,
Okay.
the gay, lesbian, transgender, transsexual,
The alphabet people.
yeah, alphabet people, as some people. I don't want to use that term because it's a derogatory
that sounds.
term.
Is it derogatory? It sounds like it's
I
derogatory.
don't. I try not to draw lines in the sand, Joel. But all I'm saying is like basically what it boils down to is it caters to a variety of people other than, let's just say, heterosexual males that possibly might be white. But the thing is though, like moving away from that, we talked about this about other shows too. Is like it got to a point where
The woke
it's
culture
okay
is affecting
is
the
it-
show. Or
writing wise, like instead of
embracing.
instead of just embracing it naturally, it comes across forced. I think that's the real problem. Is it comes across forced, and it takes you out you know how like you're watching a show, right? You're in a theater, right, and you're watching a play on stage, and then all of a sudden maybe an usher slams a door by accident. He doesn't catch it and it slams. Everyone like turns behind them to see what the hell that noise was. It takes you out of the story that you're watching. And so I feel like sometimes the woke culture towards the end started doing that to an extent where not only did it take you out, but they went above and beyond to kind of like insult their audience. And I'm not saying that hasn't happened in the past. I'm sure there's plenty of 80s references where like women were like the damsels in distress. You know, like one movie in particular I think of is like Romance in the Stone. If you don't know it, it doesn't matter. But like, you know, like you got this woman writer, but she comes across this, you know, Michael Douglas. He's young and he's strapping. He's an adventurer, and like, you know, he's got to save the woman and bail her out of everything. So like, I understand where the resentment comes from for the woke culture that started. You know, like it was really dominant in the 80s. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, it's been like 40 years since that's been the case. But anyways, it's been taking over to the point where I think it's people like myself who enjoyed the shows, the CW shows, started to get turned off by it because I was supporting these characters, I was supporting the shows, but then it started to become kind of like insulting towards me. And I was like, why are they doing that? Because like I've been supporting it and now it's insulting me. So it kind of turns people off. Like I still watch it. I still try to I bite my tongue, I grit my teeth when I watch it, and I cringe.
You try.
But I watch it because I'm trying to get past. It's almost like they are hitting below the belt.
You want to see where they're going to go with the story.
Where they're going to go with it.
You're already committed.
And
you want to finish
I'm committed.
it.
But like, let's just say, you know, like any good person, you want to watch. If it is a woke culture, right, and this is who they are and what they represent, and I don't understand it, I'm going to try to watch it to understand it. But here's the problem. If you're going to insult me while I'm watching it, then I don't want to watch it anymore. Right. And so on television, it's, you know, it's a ratings thing. Maybe you buy the box set through iTunes or DVD or whatever. But the reality is this. When it comes to movies, the block up until this coronavirus, it was always the numbers at the box office, the opening weekends, how much money it made overseas, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. In fact, you know, these cultures are not accepted overseas. In fact, half our movies are altered dramatically. The advertising is altered dramatically for places like China where they don't accept the woke culture, just so you guys know. That's how it is in other places. So we were talking about Hollywood wants to start pleasing everybody again, because when Star Wars happened, Last Jedi, it was, if you don't agree with it, you're not woke, then you're racist, you're a bigot. But we've said this a bazillion trillion times. I'm so tired of talking about it. But what's important is, this is where it's different. Like Hollywood attacked, again, it was like an attack on those individuals. Instead of just accepting that they were not interested in it or didn't agree with it or whatever.
Right. Not like their story didn't draw them in enough. They weren't woke enough.
Right. So at the time that was going on, it was like, no, you need to change your attitude.
Right when you
said
didn't
that,
like Star Wars popped up on my screensaver. But anyways, go on.
Sorry, man. Well, it's like, you know, back then it was like, and it was only like a couple of years ago, it was like, if you don't like the woke culture, then you need to change, you need to adapt, and you need to get with the program. Well, it didn't work out because they started losing money, and they started losing money big time. And so now things like Star Wars, like Kathleen Kennedy's on her way out. They're revamping how they do Star Wars. And that's not to say they're going to get rid of female leads or whatever the case may be. But it's like, it just goes back to that whole thing, like, you took it too far kind of thing. There's like Thundercats Roar is another example. I mentioned it to you where it's like, you know, there's a show called, you know, Teen Titans Go for kids. And it's like, a lot of fans of Teen Titans were trashing on it because it was taking their heroes and making them really cartoony and stupid. But that's fine, because I understand changing the dynamic for humor and whatever else. But when they did Roar, they took it a step further and they started insulting their fans of the original show. And I thought, I told you this privately, but it's like, you know, I sit down and watch Thundercats Roar with my son because I can laugh at their jokes about Thundercats because I grew up watching it. Like, yeah, those characters are ridiculous, or the situations are kind of funny looking at it this way. And so I'm enjoying the show with my son. But then it's like, then they go a step further. It's like if you don't like this or you don't like that, and they're talking to my generation while I'm watching it with my son, they're saying, then, you know, you're a poopy head, or, you know, you don't have to watch the show. it's just like one of those things like, whoa, 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 where did this come from? Like, why do you have to go out of your way to do this? And so it's interesting because the actress for Batwoman got, I don't know if it was her, I don't believe it was her fault at all, but again, it's about the writing and the take that they chose to do. But she quit after one season. They got so much backlash from her. And that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be her because I don't think it's not her fault. It's not her fault, the actress's fault. But it's the way that Warner Brothers decided to do the show. It's the way the writers decided to write, and it's the way that the directors and producers allowed it to happen. And so it got to this point where she backed out for her own reasons. So she's not the Batwoman anymore after one season because there's such a massive backlash. So and that hurts, that hurts because the CW up until then was doing a whole variety of crossovers. They were doing what the cinematic universe for Marvel was doing for their shows, and it was working.
Yeah.
But they started getting too ridiculous and too stupid, and so it became a problem. So now I'm going to let you talk soon because I'm tired of talking, but Warner Brothers is, ever since the Snyder cut for Batman, and Superman movie was talked, just like, all the cuts for Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, people want to see these better cuts. And for whatever reason, the woke culture canceled these cuts. And now people are showing interest in them and to movies that could have been better at the beginning, but because of woke culture, catering to woke culture, they didn't make as much money or they flopped as well. They could have made more. You know what I mean? Like I think the Rise of Skywalker in the opening wave was like 600 something million. I can't even remember the first day or something like that. It was insane. You could, and then they didn't even get that at all, period, for the whole run of the Last Jedi. Or they got it towards the very end after it was in theaters for like months. So when the wallet is hit, now they're talking about catering to others. So there was one of our listeners, a platypus guy. He sent me a video a while ago, and I wanted to talk about it then, but since then things have already started to change and evolve differently. But Warner Brothers is talking about maybe accepting all versions of franchises, and what that means is the Michael Keaton Batman, the Christopher Nolan
is coming back,
Batman with Christian Bale, and then you got the Ben Affleck Batman. Right.
What about
so
George Clooney? Is he coming back?
I don't know. I don't know. But all those guys, just so you guys know, all of those actors, by the way, were invited back for Final Crisis, which was a TV event through the CW. So all these bigwig stars were actually called and invited to play parts for this Final Crisis multiverse kind of situation, which I thought was amazing. Not many of them accepted, but what happened was it opened this door where they said, why don't we just honor these franchises for what they are? If you like Michael Keaton Batman, let's make a whole bunch of Michael Keaton Batman stories. If you like Ben Affleck's Batman, just follow that Batman series. So instead of just saying each one takes their own turn or spin on the Batman character, maybe it's related, adventure. Maybe it's not. Choose your adventure. Those childhood books. Choose your adventure. Choose your actor and follow that series. So you could potentially have
universe.
4 Batman movies simultaneously going on, and they'd have nothing in common. They don't relate at all, except for maybe when they do a crisis event or something. So, getting back to
is
what
you said, is a crisis event like a multiverse event? Like they all merge?
Is. It's kind of like Spider-Verse. It's kind of like Spider-Verse.
Okay.
Where all the different versions of them come together to save the multiverse kind of situation.
So we're playing that Keaton and Nolan's movie, or Christian Bale and Affleck's. They're all different universes now. Now we're never playing that way.
Yeah.
Because my understanding was the Christian Bale movies universe, Nolan's movies were in the same universe with Ben Affleck. That was my understanding.
That was my thought. Thought too.
Because as soon as Christian Bale stopped being Batman, he disappeared. Blah blah blah. But he reemerged at some point, and he went underground for a while. And then when Batman vs Superman happened, that was him coming back.
Yeah,
that was
like
my understanding.
Time period.
Dark Knight already existed. Batgirl's already in the universe. Like someone said that in an interview that they still all exist in this universe.
Yes.
that Ben Affleck's playing. So this Christian Bale just didn't take the part. Like that was my understanding. So is that
right.
true?
Well, it's supposed to be like Christian Bale's character, but years
Right.
later, like Dark Knight,
And
like when he's an old man,
right?
you know what
Like
I mean?
Batman Beyond, almost kind of thing. Not that
Almost
old.
to that point,
Not
but
that
not
old.
quite, but yes, right.
So is that
Right,
true
he's got-
then? So it's the same universe then at that point.
Well, that was the original plan, but what I'm saying is now I think what they're doing to compete is they're just gonna say, you know what? Why don't we just keep them separate, and we'll just make a whole bunch of movies, and then and that way the fans can choose what version of Batman they want to follow. It's
Now,
that
do you
simple.
think this is their take on jumping ahead of Spider-Man because of the possible Spider-Verse and the multiverse? Because
Absolutely.
now
It's-
there's talks that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man are going to be part of the MCU, but in their own universes. You know what I mean? Because the Morbius movie is kind of showing in the background that is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man painted on that wall. It's not
Right.
Tom Holland's, but the Vulture's in that movie as well. Michael Keaton makes an appearance. So what is actually going on? So you think this is DC's way of jumping ahead and going, fuck it, we're going to announce we're doing this. You're going to get Batman movie this with Michael Keaton, and you're going to get Christopher Nolan's Batmans, and you're going to get all that. Like, you think this is their chance to jump ahead and say all the Batman movies are part of the same universe? It's just part of the same
I think they're
canon.
trying. Well, unlike Disney, where they still have to play ball with Sony, DC they don't have to do that. They've already got their characters, so they can just go right into it. And I think that's a
Right.
good thing. So I think, I think it's their way of competing with Disney and Sony in the sense of, we're gonna beat you to the bandwagon. We kind of already got a head start, and it's a great way to tie in their TV shows, because their TV shows were done well. Like the characters,
If
there
they
was many
freaking
crossovers.
If they used the TV shows to blend into the movie, that would have been the better choice. I don't think they ever figured out how to do that because they dumb.
No.
But do you also,
No, go ahead. Well, it's cool
I
because I was going to tell you, like the Justice League movie, the Flash from that one, he shows up in a multiverse scene.
Oh, he does.
For the other Flash.
So they're trying to do it.
Yeah, so they've already married that situation. Whereas
Interesting.
Marvel ignored their TV shows with exception of Shield, but now they're ignoring Shield. So it's a different story. Only Disney Plus shows will from here on out cater to it the way that the CW shows are.
So,
But
with that being said, or do you think DC's jumping ahead and seeing how bad Disney handles Star Wars and the woke version of it, kind of like trying to like force things on things that are not letting the story unfold. So now do you think they're trying to do multiple Batmans to appease every culture in a sense? Like, we're going to get a Hispanic Batman, we're going to get a black Batman, we're going to get a gay Batman, we're going to get a Jewish Batman. Well,
I
maybe
think
not.
that's
the Jew Batman wouldn't spend money on gadgets. So.
I don't think it's going to happen yet. But basically, if they go down this recipe, then yes, that's a possibility, because I think what they're trying to do is, one, they're obviously trying to compete with their competitors, but
obviously they have to keep a step ahead somehow.
Right. But it's one of those situations where, like, in a way, I think it is. We're just gonna make a version for every diverse situation possible.
I'll watch Little People Batman. That'd be fun.
But see, that's the best part. I mean, that's the genius of it, because instead of reinventing the franchise over and over and over again, you could actually watch a variety of Batmans in the same year, and it wouldn't matter to you, because you're like, okay, I saw the Little People version of Batman, and it was the best one. It even beat Michael Keaton's. Or you could say, I just watched the Ben Affleck one, and that one was so good, and the Little People one sucked. I mean, like, it doesn't matter, because you're not as invested on the other movies, so you can pick and choose which one you want.
And at the same time, they can even go like, well, the Ben Affleck Batman's going to follow this story, and then the Nolan movie follows the year one, and then this one follows the more campy Batman, and then
right.
we have Adam West comes back and does his version of it. And
well,
it's
he's dead, unfortunately, but
so you say. But anyway, so you could do like, there's different spans of like comics, like the Detective Comics series of Batman, where he first originally from. That could be a series with a certain actor. And then another version of like year one could be a certain actor. Frank Miller's version could be, I think, Frank 1 and whatever. Frank Miller can be their own version. I don't know many Batman versions, but it's the same idea.
Here's the beautiful thing. Yeah, the beautiful thing about it too is, like, and this is why Spider-Verse would be awesome too if they did it right. But you want to talk about woke culture, right? And introducing it into the world
Sure.
in a positive way without pissing people off and threatening them and calling them jerks. Meaning like the woke culture calling other people jerks for not accepting them. Here's the thing. In the last few years, comics, as we know, has become more and more diverse. We've had I actually, just because I moved and had to do other things, I stopped reading some things. But like one of the last things that they did was they introduced all kinds of worlds. So I mean, that's what's really cool about this idea, because you were talking about bringing diverse situations into it. Like eventually we have like a Mexican Batman or whatever. But like we already had like there's this guy, I wish I could remember his name, but it's like Robin. But he was like the kind of like the new Robin, but he wasn't called Robin. But he was a black male, and he was helping Batman. And even at one point, Commissioner Gordon becomes Batman because something happens.
What?
Yeah, and I can't remember what happens. But
it just sounds like Captain America's mantle.
So it's just
passed
really
around like a whore.
It might, and it could be. But what's cool about it though is like if you're watching something like, let's say, the Christian Bale Batman, and he ends up being the one that something happens, and Commissioner Gordon takes on the Batman suit, and then you have was it Ray Fiennes that did that? Not Ray Fiennes, but that was the other one. That was Ben Affleck. But but my point is, like, if you then you get those characters introduced in that situation, you know, like it's really cool. There was even like a Batman Incorporated at one point where Batman literally, like, he basically makes the Batman brand like an official like brand. So like, for example, like there's a Native American Batman, and he literally, like, I mean, you want to talk borderline racism, but it's not. But it's like it was an actual Native American, but he's dressed like Batman, but he's got a Batman mask, but he still looks like, you know, a chief. You know, I don't know how to describe it other than that. And like, but then you got like a Scottish Batman where he's wearing a Batman mask, but he's wearing a kilt. You know, it's like, so you can introduce that world in one of the franchises. So like, yeah, the possibilities are limitless, and you can speak to everyone, and it's already written, it's already been established, so you wouldn't have to worry about it. So
it's true.
From a marketing standpoint, I think it's a really smart idea, because that way you're addressing everybody's cultures. You're addressing the woke culture. You're addressing the irregular fans, and you have options to choose. And I think when it comes to financial situations, the studios will then say, okay, well, this one made this much money, this one made not so much money, and they can reevaluate if they want to keep going with that franchise or not. But that would be the cleanest, non-offensive, meaning like you don't tell people they suck regardless of what side of the coin they stand on, and you
wouldn't have an argument anymore either, because then you can say, well, this Batman didn't do well because no one went to go see it. You can't say, oh, Batman's not representing this blah 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 because of blah blah blah. Well, we did. We made 9 different versions, and you only supported 3 of the versions, and it's not our fault. I mean, the argument part will come out saying, well, the storyline for those ones were weaker. Were they weaker, or were they just like you didn't care for the character because of what it was? Like,
well, and the positive thing about it too is you can make more money as a studio, because like, let's say you're a loyal fan of Michael Keaton, but then you watched all of them and you're like, you know what, I want something new, so I'm gonna watch or you really enjoyed it, but you know what, it's like I watched them all. You know, like if you binge watch a show on Netflix or anywhere, and you're like, okay, I'm a one and done kind of guy, like I don't need to go back and watch the series again unless it's really amazing.
Nope.
So like then you pick oh, okay, I'll try the Little People one this time. I'll watch Little People Batman, you know, and see how that works out.
He's my favorite.
And I might be pleasantly surprised. But what's cool is, because I had the option to choose, it's not, you know what I mean? I think all of them will survive because of that, and people will be more open-minded to watch these things. Whereas if you just said, nope, the next Batman is a little person, you just have to, you got to get used to it. And then if people don't support it, they're going to say, well, never in the history of Batman was Batman a little person, you know? But but the woke culture is saying, you know what, why can't he be that way? And there's no reason why he can't, but just, again, it's been this way since how long? So you're trying to change something. So if people don't accept it, it's not because they can't see a little person as a Batman. It's just you took the lore of Batman and made it into something else, and people didn't want to accept that. It has nothing to do with anything else. And so, but I'm saying if you do the way that we're talking now, is where you do 9 versions of something, you watch your version you like the best, but then you'd be open-minded enough to say, okay, I'm curious of what would it have been like if he was a little person, or what would it have been like if this, because I have the option. I got what I wanted. Like if Star Wars, if they had just put Han, Luke, and fucking Leia together in this last trilogy at some point, people probably would have been fine. But you didn't get it once. I don't think you got it once.
Luke and Leia weren't ever next to each other. Ever.
All three of them were never together at the same time.
Holy shit.
You know what I'm saying? That's why people were upset. It has nothing to do with anything else going on.
If I cared, I think I would be upset right now if I cared.
Right. So, I mean, this went rather quickly. I didn't realize how quick this was going to go, but...
Because it was a good topic, and we're going to get 9 fucking Batman movies next year.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. There's already rumors that may not be the case, but what do you think, Joel? Because you were talking about, I mean, it's a way lower extreme of like watching all version cuts of Star Wars, you know, on Disney Plus, but to pick the
it's a more
one
extreme
that you like to watch.
I find it it'd be difficult for a studio to do it. I think it'd be a big feat. They'd be coughing up a lot of money and risk to see what would happen, just to see what would span. So I think they'd be better off only choosing like 3 or 4. I mean, the idea of taking Michael Keaton's and taking maybe Nolan's, Christian Bale's, or Ben Affleck's, we want to call it, that universe, and then even taking another one, say Val Kilmer's, and you follow those 3 only, and you extend on, you make more movies with their storylines, and extend that, and just try that, because you already established how many times we need to see Bruce Wayne's parents get killed. We don't need to see that anymore. So it's always interesting to how they do it. But what if we progress with that version of it? You know what I mean?
Well,
maybe we even go into the Joker movie that just came out, and we get to experience what that Bruce Wayne grows into. You know what I mean? And you know, and that could be fucking let's say it's, you know, Michael Keaton's Batman. That's who Michael Keaton Batman is, and he grows. You know, you know what I mean? Like maybe But I think the idea is to try to not alienate all the movies they've already made. They want to incorporate them all. You know what I mean?
I think it goes back. That's a perfect example.
It's taking a risk. It's taking a risk, but it's trying to incorporate it all.
But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's the same old thing that you're told as a child. Respect your elders. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Respect what's already been done. Don't try to alter it. Don't try to change it. Just add to it. Add to it.
Even with this talk right now, them saying they're bringing Michael Keaton and doing all that, people are already going back. I'm sure they're already seeing more sales on the Michael Keaton Batman movies right now because I'm talking about it, just from that. So to even try to incorporate that into the canon of the DCU would be just money making from the old movie still. So they're going to try to make it's another profit game. That's all it is. It's all them trying to profit on it. If we get good movies out of it and we enjoy what they do with it, great. But if they keep fucking up as they do, DC's going to keep losing their fans.
Oh yeah. Well, I would be excited for it, especially because Robert Pattinson is supposed to be playing the young Batman, and if they took like an actor, let's say, and they focused, because you know how comics have different titles, like there's the Batman Detective comics, or there's Batman, just plain Batman, or there's Batman, like I said, incorporated. If they took each one of those and just followed that storyline or kind of went their own way, I think that would be very exciting to watch. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we're in quarantine, so I don't know how much production is getting done, but
a lot of writing.
Quarantine.
But a lot of writing.
Yeah,
should
a lot
be
of writing
done
is
right now.
being done.
A lot of creativity
Absolutely.
should be done. Now they have time to plan. All the planning should be happening right now.
Well, I think it's a good time to look. Hollywood's looking back at the past couple of years and realizing their mistakes for sure. And
absolutely,
you don't alienate your fan base to prove a point or try to win someone else over. You know what I mean? You don't fuck over your best friend just to hang out with the cool kids for a day. Because
right.
Those kids are gonna stab you in the back at some point, and your friend's always gonna be there for you. So that's it. That's my final thought. What's your final thought?
I like movies.
That's good, Joel.
And
that's
I hope I like turtles. No, I like movies, and I hope they do it justice. I don't like the DC universe. I'll be honest. Superman's stupid. Wonder Woman, nah. The Wonder Woman movie was a great movie, but it was the character, and Aquaman is, come on, he talks to fish, and then the Flash, shut up. But Batman was the only character that you're like, all right, his superpower is money and smarts. So I always liked Batman because of that. I don't know why. You always thought like, maybe if I earn enough money I can do shit like that,
Oh sure,
maybe
you
thought
could.
that way. And it's the only thing that I'm going to say this on recording so it's permanent. It's the only character and thing that my dad enjoys that I enjoy too. Everything else he chooses, I go opposite.
Aw.
So I actually like the Batman. It's good, and I hope they do it justice.
Yeah, there's very few people I've run into that hate Batman.
The Nolan movies did it justice, and I'm happy if we just stop it there. But if they're gonna keep continuing, I hope they do it justice still.
Well, if they do a young Batman with what's his face, Patterson, I think if they did it right, it could go on for a long time, and I'd be willing to ride that train as long as they didn't do anything too ridiculous.
Yeah,
so
fair.
But cool. All right, so there you go. Another gimmick of Hollywood. We're gonna try to, after we insult everyone, we're gonna make everyone feel better by making movies for everyone. Maybe that's what we're gonna do.
We're gonna
now.
put
That's
a
the world we're living
Band-Aid
in.
on it, and then we're gonna kiss it.
Yep, we're gonna say sorry
Mwah.
by giving you 9 options to watch. So
We don't care we don't care about your opinion anymore. We're just gonna do them all.
Yeah. We realize we can't please the world, so we're just gonna make 9 movies. And if you can't pick 1 out of 9, then go F yourself. So on that note, thank you for listening to Entertainment Banter. My name is Matt,
And I am Joel, and I'm done.